All right. My name is Mickey Ganitch. I was born November 18, 1919 in Mogadore, Ohio, which is a town northeastern Ohio, pretty close to Cleveland and Akron. 1929, there's a stock market crash. Things are very, very hectic there. We had bread lines, we had soup lines there. People were having all kinds of problems finding things to eat. We were very fortunate. We lived on a farm and we had a lot of vegetables and food. And it seemed like all on weekends, the people would come visit us on weekends, go home with doggy bags and trade it in for meat, to trade it in for bread, various things there. Things were very, very bad there. You think the economy is now bad now? It was really bad. 3 years later, 1932, a man by the name of Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. He was a greedy sort. He convinced the Germans there that they were the super race, they could do most anything. The country of Germany started taking over various parts of the country in Europe. Took over various parts in England and France were very appeasing there because Hitler said, all I want is this there. So they said, okay, okay. And he got that and he wanted this, he wanted that. He had practically all of Germany. Germany and taken over all of Europe. He had a non-aggression pact with Russia. They would not fight each other again. So in other words there, you're on Germany and Russia were on the same side. That wasn't enough for Hitler. He wanted England too. They started bombing England. England would not give up. Hitler decided, well, if you take over Russia there, then England would give up. He'd have everything. So that put Russia on our side, even though we were not in the war itself. So we started helping Russia, fighting against Germany. We started a Murmansk run, taking supplies to Russia by way of Murmansk there. A lot of our ships are being sunk, taking troops. Not taking troops, but mainly taking supplies to Russia. That's way in the northern part of Europe itself. A lot of our merchant ships are being sunk. Our people in Congress there said, no, don't worry about that there. They're sinking so many ships there. They said, well, they convinced the people in the United States there that maybe a couple of ships were being sunk. On the East Coast, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, our people could see ships being sunk on the East Coast. But since we were not in the war, the ships were not protected there. Over in the Pacific, things are getting a little bit hectic over there. Japan is a small country. They need a lot of the supplies, a lot of things that the various islands needed added. They started taking over all kinds of places in the Pacific. They even invaded part of China because they needed the control of the Pacific itself. Some of our people there were for that effort to fight against these people that were taking over so much of Europe and taking so much out of the Pacific. Some of our people decided there they would fly with the Flying Tigers there with General Chenault in the Pacific against the Japanese invasion. Over the other side there, some of our pilots decided to help England there, join the Royal Air Force. But since we were not in the war, that's as much we were involved in. We're sending various supplies to Japan itself. But before that, let me tell you a little bit about, some of you people may not know it, but I was a draft dodger. Yeah. Things were so bad in the Pacific and the Atlantic part there. In 1940, the United States decided they would have a draft. Any of the men 21 years and older had to register for the draft going to the Army. Some of the people I knew said, you go in the Army, you may be sleeping outside there, you get cold food, and that wasn't for me. So I went and joined the Navy. January 21st in 1941, I joined the Navy Recruiting Office and Post Office in Oakland, 1941. Even though we were not in the war, evidently our higher-ups figured we better do something. That's why they had the draft there. In order to stop Japan from spreading out, our people decided to have an embargo. They were not sending more supplies to Japan. We had been sending all kinds of supplies to Japan, iron, wood, various things there that Japan needed, because they needed all the other things that we were sending them, plus what the islands, magnesium, rubber, various things there that they needed, and they couldn't get there. And I know we were putting our embargo on them. It made Japan very unhappy there. They figured they better do something. Some of the people in Japan decided there that they'll invade the United States there, even though we were not mixed up in the world situation there. They decided there they would attack Pearl Harbor itself. A lot of the Japanese were against it. In fact, a man named Admiral Yamamoto, he was the fleet admiral of the Japan fleet. He was against any aggression against the United States. He was educated. He was trained in the United States there. He was against it. But he was outvoted. They decided there they'd go ahead and invade Japan. Japan would invade the United States by way of Pearl Harbor itself. Now our people there in the military decided the only thing they would have to worry about as far as any attack from Japan would be sabotage, because Pearl Harbor itself is dredged to 40 feet. 40 feet is all that the water was dredged to, and that was good enough for any battleships, any aircraft carriers to go into Pearl Harbor itself. So then all they have to worry about, because the reason they figured it's safe, because the torpedo, when it's launched there, it goes down about 50-some feet and comes back and levels off. 40 feet is not enough for a torpedo. Admiral Yamamoto and his group of people that knew what they were doing decided they would have a flotation device on all the torpedoes, as they will use their torpedoes in Pearl Harbor itself. All we thought we had to worry about is sabotage. All airfields were designated there, keep all their planes bunched up. Keep them all bunched up together, make it easy to protect against any sabotage. They figured that's all they have to worry about, which made it really nice, easy. When Japan planes came in there, they just wiped out rows and rows of planes due to the fact that the planes were all bunched up. Now, we were not in the war itself. What the policy was at that time, the ships would be out at sea during the week. Come in the harbor, have their games, church services, various activities on weekends. Now Japan had spies all over the island of Oahu. They knew where all the ships were at. They even knew the names of the ships. Some of them they had mixed up there, but they knew that various ships were here and there. When I joined the Navy, I was fortunate enough to get good grades in my tests. They asked me what I'd like to do. I said, well, I'm not mechanically minded. I'd like to get in something there that would not require any mechanical aptitude. They said, how do you like to steer a ship? I said, well, that's great for me, because back there in Ohio, where I'm from, there, the biggest thing you saw is a ferry boat. We don't have many big ships back in Ohio. I said, that's for me. They sent me to boot camp in San Diego. After boot camp there, I still took tests. I still had choices. They said, well, what would you like to do? I said, well, I'm sports-minded, especially football. I'd like to be someplace where they have these sports teams there. They said, well, you get on a big ship, a base, you got a better chance having sports teams. They signed me to the USS Pennsylvania. USS Pennsylvania is 608 feet long. In fact, Picture right over there, next to the last picture, is the USS Pennsylvania, 608 feet long, 33,000 tons. Sister ship of the USS Arizona. They were built about pretty close to the same time, exact measurements for both of them itself.